Ere Ayla, Sanda, welcome to my channel. This week I'm doing a video on the rune Isa. Enjoy. Hail to the universal energy. Hail to the gods and the goddesses. Hail to within. Hail and welcome. Hi guys, Tuva here. This video is about a very special rune, and it's one that a lot of people think about it being a bad rune, but believe it or not, it is something that makes you look within. It is something that only you can find within. So I'm going to start with what it looks like. This is the rune Isa. It's just a one going up like that. And while we're at it, we can do the position for that, which would basically be standing up and just holding your arms up straight. Isa is ice, which is power. There is power in ice, and you have to look back to the beginning in Norse tradition, which is the fire and the ice, and that they came together to bring forth the world as we know it. So in their understanding, ice was a very powerful, dangerous substance, something that they had to live with year in and year out for very long periods of time. They knew that there would be hardship, so ice to them meant stagnation, it meant danger. The colours for Isa are black, white, light blue and blue, because they are the colours that if you was to look in the ice with the sun shining on it, you would possibly get those colours, because the black would be the underneath the earth showing through, the white would be the crispness of newly formed snow. Then you would have the blue shades that would react against all the forestry around you. So you can understand the colour system in this. And of course the element would be water, but also draws in fire again, because it is a very stability enhancing rune. It is female in its presence, because water is from the female side of things. It is also emotion, because it is a form of almost destruction, a rune of stillness, of caution, of complete and utter aloneness, isolation, a place where people don't like to be, because it shows where they're at. They're alone with themselves. You can use the stone in correspondence, which I use diamond, and obviously it's not something everybody owns, but you can get replicas in another form which look like diamonds. Anything that is see-through, white. You could use cat's eye, which is also a good one. You can use anything really. I like to also use mother of pearl, because it shimmers all the different lights in it, but it is pure white as well. So anything white really, so don't go out of your way. Animals would be reindeer and the serpent. So there's your correspondences for the stone, the colour, and it's very basic altar. Now what I've got on here are two candles, one representing fire, one representing water, even though they are flames. I wanted two pillars basically. The oh yes, the fragrance also can be lavender, and I've often used copal because that is very earthy, but it's also very powerful. I've got the antler on here, obviously reindeer antler or a deer antler. I have the rune for Isa, and I have various objects that are white, like stones and things, and of course lavender I'm burning, and that's all you really need for your altar. For really, when you're doing runes, it is very basic. And also, when you're doing the rune meditations on your own, it is just something to represent. It is not like you're doing work with a deity. You're just doing something for yourself, using the power of the runes. So that's the altar. Of course, the main thing that Isa brings into mind is the stillness of within, when you can hear what's going on inside yourself. And that will remind you of the deep ego. The ego that you try so hard to not let form judgment of where you live, what you do. But the thing is, my friends, the ego is you. The ego is part of you. And so when you are in the stillness of Isa, it is hard to accept what the ego is. And you may try over your lifetime to change that ego to fit in with everybody else. But my friends, at the end of the day, the ego is you. And an ego is not a bad thing. It has good properties to it, because without your ego, you wouldn't get up in the morning and do things that you needed to do. It is your ego that helps you to walk forwards on a daily basis. The bad parts of the ego is when you let it take over. You need to be getting a balance. And that is what this is about. When you are in the stillness of Isa and the cold air, you will know your ego, and it is time to then correspond with him or her, to get an agreement, to get an understanding and an acceptance of who you are, because you are your own being, the creator of your own world. Isa is not a bad rune, but it is one that will make it very confrontational for you to accept who you are. But that's not a bad thing. It brings beauty, risk. But risks have to be taken. Otherwise, what is the point of your life? If everything was easy, if everything was on a plate for you, you wouldn't really be living. So you know you're living when you have to take risks and bring delusion and illusions into your life, things of grandeur that you think you can attain, and when you don't attain them can make you feel distraught and at risk of severe loneliness and depression. But that can happen to everybody, not just you. So my friends, when we go on the path working today to find out what Isa is all about, in numerology it is a thing that Isa is the base stone for everything else to come to. So it's a very important rune to have. So don't be worried if it comes up in your readings. It just means that it's going to be a time where you need to maybe shut yourself away and confront issues within your life to get a balance again, but to get an understanding of you don't have to hide who you are, that you are okay. Everything is correct for you. You are an original person. Don't become a sheep. Alright guys, so if you're sitting comfortable and you've had a drink of water, we'll begin the path working. So I'm going to beat the drum as I normally do, and then I want you to close your eyes, breathe in deeply through your nose, hold, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, hold, and out through your mouth. Keep doing this till you start to feel you're getting relaxed. You haven't got a care in the world. What is not. What was is not, and what is to come is not. You are in a very relaxed state of mind, for you know you're in a safe place and you're ready to learn. You find yourself in the darkness, and all around you is complete darkness. This is a Nongakap. Before time, before the beginning. Take a moment to find where you are in yourself, for you are so relaxed and ready. In the distance, you can see on the left-hand side a small pinprick of light, and on the other side another small pinprick of light. You know, because of before in other journeys, that is fire and ice. But another light is appearing, and it is coming towards you at a very fast speed. Here it comes. Before this happens, I'm going to call on the Rune Isa. You see it coming towards you at a fast speed. It is now the size of a doorway, and as before, you know it is a doorway. It is a doorway to the rune world, and this week it is the world of Isa. You find yourself being pulled into pure, crisp whiteness. At first you look around and you see the beauty of all this whiteness, which is pure ice and snow, and it is all over the place. It is absolutely everywhere. But it isn't long, guys, until you feel your fingers are starting to get cold, and so are your toes. You realise you haven't got any provisions with you, and that you have only a coat on and some boots. You're starting to feel very cold, so you think, I know, I will walk. But as you walk, you can't see anything. There are no houses, there are no settlements, there are no people. All you can hear is the crunching of the snow and the ice beneath your feet. Each step is showing you the isolation that you are now finding yourself in. You realise that you're alone, and you only have yourself to keep yourself strong with. You keep walking in hope that you will find someone's home or someone with a nice fire that are camping outside, but to no avail. There are no houses, there is nothing. You carry on walking, but you are becoming very tired because it has been a long walk, and you notice that the sun is going down, which is going to cause you a big problem, because this snow will then turn into pure ice, and that will bring risks of you slipping over and hurting yourself. You also realise you have no light and there is nothing with you. At this point, you start to be really frightened because you can hear wolves howling in the background and you are terrified that you will be their next meal. You see a reindeer in the distance and it is walking. It stops and it looks at you. It too is finding the weather very harsh and it has ice upon its eyelashes as it flutters them at you. It carries on walking past. You realise you've got to do something, you can't just walk around. A thought comes into your mind that you know that the best place to be is within the snow. If you can make an igloo or something that you can go within and build it around you, you will be at least away from the elements. It may be still cold, but it will be warmer than what you've got at the moment. So you start to, with your hands, build an igloo, taking a handful of snow and compacting it really tightly and pushing it together. It is a daunting task and a tiring task. You find that you are very hungry and very thirsty. So you get a handful of the snow and you put it to your mouth. It takes away the dryness, but it also burns the back of your throat. You are at the point where you just want to give up. You've tried to build this igloo and nothing. It's half done and it's now dark and everything is turning to ice. And you realise you can't feel your feet anymore and it's creeping slowly upon your legs. You start to think about the things that you've done in your life and the things that you want to do in your life and the things that you haven't done, the things that you could have done, the things that your ego has always stopped you from doing because you didn't like what you thought. You realise there were things that you could have changed within, but didn't have the time for. That the things, the paths that you've taken may not have been the right ones, they were not safe. You have gone for something that was more exciting because your ego told you to. Or at least that's what you're saying, that you blame your ego. But this is not what it's about. You feel now the ice is rising up past your knees. You try to move and you can't. It's like you're becoming a statue of ice and you are scared. You are frightened you're going to die. You see that reindeer in the distance and it is now laying down and you realise this poor creature is suffering exactly the same as what you are and you can't do anything to help him. You realise that you now know that this is going to happen. Whatever you do, there is nothing you can do. And so you feel the ice starting to crawl up from your fingers now, up to your shoulders. You can't move your hands anymore. And you realise also that your face is caught in one position and there are icicles upon your hair. And you know it won't be long now before you are just a statue of ice. Once this has happened, you are at peace with yourself, for you now know there is nothing you can do but to stay here, being with yourself for maybe the first time in your life. You say to yourself, who am I? What am I? Why am I? And the mind goes into a turmoil. This is just you asking you, actually, I don't know who I am. I always thought my ego was bad. You stay like this, thinking terrible thoughts about yourself and wondering why you got yourself into this state. It's now becoming light again, and you are worried that what's going to happen to me? Will somebody find me? You hear a crunching noise and you know someone is walking towards you. It gets nearer and nearer, and in your eyesight you can see through the ice and the icicles. There is a person walking toward you. As they get nearer and nearer, you realise it's not just a person, it's you. You. It's you, your ego, your person that you are. As it comes towards you very dubiously, and it looks at you, you say, hello, you're me. And it smiles at you and says, I sure am. Do you know me any better now? Now we have met. Do you understand what my reasons for being with you are? For without me, you wouldn't do the things that you do. But you tend to spend most of your time pushing me away, telling me to go, that people won't accept me with you. I am not happy about that, and I want to get my point across to you. I want you to listen and understand. So you say to your ego, I am beginning to understand. I was taught that the ego is a bad thing, but it isn't, is it? It's a thing that is helping you to do things in your life that you would never accomplish without. It is also you. Within, it's me. We are one. At this, your ego smiles and says, yes, you now understand, and it is time for you to let me be let in as what you are, to let me be a part of your life without you judging, because you are me and I am you. We can work this out together for a good future, but you need to let me in, understand, and allow me to help you. Egos are not always bad. At this point, you start to realise that the sun has come up, and you can feel your hands coming back to life. You look at your ego and he's starting to evaporate, and you realise as the ice melts, he or she will be within you, that he is being drawn or she is being drawn within you to become you again. You have been given this opportunity to meet your ego this day. And if you have anything you want to say, now is the time. If you want to give a gift of love, of a word you want to give them, do it now, because he or she is fading within you. But he's still there, he's still able to hear, because your ego is you. Giving a gift to him or her is giving a gift to yourself. And now you understand, and you realise, you can see the reindeer that had collapsed. He's now getting up, and he's fine, and he's walking off, and he looks at you very knowingly, and then he's gone. And then you realise you're not ice anymore. The sun has come up and has melted you, and you are now back to how you was. You now see the sign Isa and it is coming towards you, and it is cascading towards you as if it is extremely happy that you now know what it is all about, that it is not a bad thing, that there is hope and there is a walking forwards. You feel the energy and the love for yourself for the first time in your life. You know that it is not a bad thing, that you are not a bad person, that you are not something to be detested in your life, but something to be encouraged and loved, and being you will open up doors. So you then come back through the door of Isa, knowing that feeling that you had of complete destruction to complete joy, and you realise that this is a time you need to have talks with your ego, to get a contract between you, to become one and to love yourself. And you find yourself, guys, back where you was. Do this with your fingers and your toes, and when you are ready, open your eyes and also have something to eat and drink, for you will need grounding. So there, guys, you have met your ego today, and it is you. And I'm glad you met them, and I'm glad that you've had this experience. And Isa is not a terrible rune, but it is one that brings you face to face with you, and that can be quite daunting for some people. So I'm going to leave that there, but I'm also going to say to you, thank you to any new subscribers. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to those that are coming back and watching my content, for this will help the channel, and I am really appreciative of that. And also to those that are always with me, love you guys. Thank you so much. Wherever you are, whatever time of day, night or evening it may be, I wish you the best ever. House of Lang.